got your back, hugging each other. You saw an environment that we didn't care what they were selling, we were in. And that's the type of movement we have right now in 5 Links. How many of you realize this company as a whole is becoming the deal? You guys are going to start experiencing people calling you and asking you, how do they get in? This just happened to me this morning. I got a phone call from a gentleman I met in the post office in Dallas, Texas. And we talked a little bit a couple months ago. For whatever reason, we lost touch. He got back in touch with me because another company was trying to recruit him. And he called me this morning, and asked me, was I still heavily involved in this? What do you think my answer was? I said, funny you should ask. I'm in New Orleans at our international convention, and I'm going to fly you down here so you can see what we're doing. So here's my point. People are now coming to us and recruiting themselves. And all we're going to do is get them down here, let them sit in the audience. I don't have to say a word. Let everybody do their thing. And then afterwards, I'm going to hand them an application. Now, that's what we call a movement, because the word is out. People are starting to understand that regardless of race, regardless of gender, regardless of education, regardless of background, regardless of creed, people can win in this deal. There are no isms. They don't care about all of that stuff. You can win if you set the bar yourself and you go after this and you believe in you. And I'm telling everybody in here, I believe in you, so you can do it. So now, that's what we mean by a movement. And all movements have great leaders. Now, does this company have some of the best leaders you've seen in the industry? When I think of a Stan Richards, when I think of a Lisa Nicole Cloud, when I think of a Pasha Carter, when I think of a Dwayne Johnson, when I think of these individuals, I'm telling you, these are some of the best in the game. And every single one of us, we have the ability to learn from these individuals. So we've got to make sure that we become students in this business. And all we have to do is start duplicating what these individuals have done. So that's what it's about, having the great leaders. And then guess what? You need to become that leader for your organization. Now, we're going to share the dream and teach others to share the dream. And that's how it starts to duplicate. 3 things. I love this. 3 things. If anything goes bad, it's my fault. Things that are semi-good, we did it. Things are great, they did it. I love that. Look, you always give the praises to the organization. Never, ever take that yourself. Unfortunately, I hear individuals that call themselves leaders, and it's all about me, I. Now, I don't see that as relative here in 5 Links as much as I do in other companies, where I see leaders where it's all about them. And I'm telling you right now, if you don't have a giving, serving heart, the odds of you winning are going to be slim to none. You've got to want to help people. You've got to want to bless somebody else. You've got to look at each other as brothers and sisters, regardless of who they are and where they come from. We're all in this together. And if you've got a servant's heart, you'll win in this thing. So that, I love that. If it goes bad, it's my fault. I take responsibility if things aren't growing in the team. Take responsibility if there are issues taking place that need to be resolved. But then if things start going okay, well, then we're collectively getting this stuff rectified. But if things are great, it's all about the leaders on the team. When I think about my own organization, I think about a Mondez Holloman, I think about a Dr. Brewster, a Dwayne Johnson, I think about the leaders that are really cranking this thing, that are getting this thing to the next level. It's not about us. It's about those individuals have learned some of the things that we've laid as a foundation. And they've taken that information and now they're running with it, running their own organizations, building their own teams. It's powerful to see. And I love it because nobody's got to know who we are. Let's put them up. Let's raise them up. Let's let them cross the stage. Let's let them cash the big checks. By default, we'll be blessed as well. But I want it to be about the next wave of leaders. It's got to always change. It can't be the same SVPs, the same platinum SVPs walking the stage when you hear top 10. I love when I see the top 5, and you may think I'm crazy for saying this, but I love when I'm competing and I see Tupac still beating me, when I see Ian Chebby beating me. That motivates me to say, how these cats gonna come in here and knock me down from number 1? But I love it because these are individuals that came from SVP. We knew them before they hit platinum. Then all of a sudden, hit platinum, bam, top 5. So it raises the bar and it gets all of us running. So that's important for a company to grow when you got new leaders. And guess what? You need to be the next wave of leaders walking this stage. So I love those 3 things that Pastor's got up there. Now, become the leader. Lead by example. This is not about telling somebody what to do. We are not dictators in this business. It's about you doing it. And people will watch what you do. They'll do what you do, half of what you say. So you've got to be the person. And I think when you become that leader, and you're that leader that has the integrity, and you've got a following that naturally gets created because you're just the person they would like to emulate, that's when you start seeing the magic in network marketing. The other thing is you want to develop people, not titles. Now, here's the thing. I want everybody to understand. This may be a wake-up call for some of the new people. And I hope this doesn't scare you out of the business. But if it does, then I know you've got some more personal development to take place. So I love you. But let me tell you the truth in something. When that next bullet point that says develop people, not titles, let me tell you what Pastor's telling you with that. It's not about a title. Titles don't mean anything. Now, titles simply put you in a position to make the money that's available at that level. Here's what I mean. Look, you may put some things together, work your tail off, and hit senior vice president. That could happen. But guess what? You hit senior vice president, no production going on in the organization. Your national directors aren't duplicating what you did to even get to senior vice president. Next thing you know, you hardly have any income, any production taking place. I can promise you this. That would be what, I hate this terminology, but it's real in network marketing. That would be what we call a broke SVP. Now, listen, I don't mean that as a joke. And there's nothing really funny about that. Here's what I mean, is that this compensation is incredible. When you hit SVP, all it means is the company says, now we will pay you a higher amount to do the same thing that you've been doing since the day you got in this. And if you're duplicating leaders and they're duplicating you and they're doing what they're supposed to do and you're at the SVP level, that's when you start to see the 10, the 20, the 30, the 40, the $50,000. Look, you don't even have to be platinum in this comp plan to still cash flow $50,000 in a 30-day month. You can do that at the senior vice president level. However, it takes production for that to happen. It takes a volume of people for that to happen. You've got to have some leaders that you know are running this thing with or without you. And I'm telling you, when you start having volume come in your organization, the compensation plan automatically spits back out that money to you. So don't think that just because you hit SVP, you're going to kick back and cool out and think the money's going to come raking in. It doesn't work that way. And unfortunately, there are some individuals that find that out in this industry the hard way. So I'm telling you that prior to that becoming your issue. So you need to make sure you're developing a team of people that are out here building so that when you hit senior vice president, you've got production coming in, which equates to income coming in, which equates to residual income growing. I've always taught my leaders this one thing I want you to get. The true essence of your business is your residual. That's the true reflection of what you've built. Now, guess what? That's on you. We can point fingers all day long, but when you point one, there's like 3 more pointing back at you. And I'm telling you right now, your residuals are your real business. Because I was explaining this on the airplane on the way over here with one of our partners from Dallas, one of my partners, who's a national director, great leader in Dallas. And he was asking me some key things while we were sitting on the plane, and I shared what I'm getting ready to share with you right now. And that is, look, it doesn't make a difference. If you're an SVP and there's no production numbers coming in, I'm telling you right now, you won't make money. You've got to have a volume of production coming in, because when they got that production coming in, they're putting customers on the books and your residuals are growing. A bonus is just that. The name in itself should explain to us what it is. It's a one-time pay for an activity. Whether it's a cab bonus, whether it's an open line bonus, it means you did something or your team did something to trigger that bonus. But a bonus doesn't come again unless you do it again. So people can make 20 grand in a month. But if it's